right, y'all. Of course, this is Fix It with Fran, where I talk about all things faith, family, food, and fun. Doing another impromptu video. I was just setting this up, so it is Friday. What is this? February the 19th. Found out from one of my friends who tagged me in a local plant group here in New Orleans about someone who was selling some African violet minis. And I have been on the hunt for some African violets for a little bit of time now because I just knew. And that's my baby upstairs because it's bedtime. But Lord help us. The kitchen is below her bedroom, so it sounds worse than it probably is. But her and her dad are having some kind of going on upstairs. Anyway, the focus of this is that I've been looking for African violets and wasn't able to find them and was really sad about it because I just knew before Thanksgiving that they were going to be in stores here in New Orleans. But, you know, the benefit, like I often mention sometimes, in being in your plant groups is that you can find out when different people are growing things. And I don't think I've shared my African violets, but I have some that I actually got before my husband was in the hospital in 2018, or maybe right after that, are still alive that I've been recouping. And part of me getting them together was me being in some different African violet groups on Facebook. So the important part of this story is I went and got them this afternoon. And I was thinking about where I was going to put them. Being in some of these AeroGarden groups on Facebook, I have seen where some folks actually have Lord help me, where some folks actually have their African violets growing in the Miracle Grow 12 units. So if you don't know, AeroGarden is actually owned. They were purchased by the Miracle Grow parent company. Anyway, long story short, and they've now developed some units that aren't the AeroGarden units, but they're called 12s, like the word 12 written out. And there are some units that actually look like more modern living room furniture, and they have the same kind of LED lights, but if you look them up, like I've seen them at Lowe's, I've seen them on Amazon, I've seen them even, of course, on the aerogarden.com website, but I liked them, but I didn't like that you couldn't adjust the level of these lights. So this is actually a unit that I have on top of the farm that's in our kitchen. But I say all that to say, when I saw that someone was using them to grow African violets, I was kind of intrigued by that, because that's a situation where you don't necessarily need to move the light, because your African violets aren't necessarily going to grow but so tall, unlike your vegetables and things like peppers, tomatoes, or whatever. But when I came home, all this noise upstairs is distracting. I'm going to cut this video short soon. When I came home, I thought about it and I said I could take my African violets and sit them on top of these little holes back here where my finger is where you normally would connect your AeroGarden water reservoir, or I can never say it. So the little water reservoir that you can use to load your garden, which I actually have down. Yeah, so that is it. Like, this is the original version. The newer version is like a more rectangular unit. So just so you see what I'm talking about. That's what these holes up here are actually for. But when I thought about it, one of the best ways that I have found to grow my African violets and grow them well is to put them in a self-watering or self-wicking pot. And basically that's a pot that has a string at the bottom. I can actually show you one that's sitting next to my other garden. So this is another African violet that I have that's in one of these self-watering pots. Let's pray I can pick this up without hurting this violet. Oh, help me, Lord. Oh, I actually need to add water to this. Hold on. Okay, I had to lift this up with two hands and pause the camera, but it's in a pot that has a string at the bottom, and this is a synthetic fiber string, like I was mentioning in my video about the fungus gnats, so that you're able to use this and it's not going to mold and mildew because it's not an organic fiber. This is like a synthetic nylon. So at the bottom of this, there's a little bit of dirt because this pot isn't necessarily designed that well, so it's letting some dirt fall through. But normally there's water in the bottom of this bucket. The string is able to draw up what the plant needs, and African violets really like that kind of consistent moisture. So I have found, as I was saying, that my violets, and I'm able to grow them well and really get them to survive using this kind of pot and watering system. So coming back to my new minis, these are in pots where the grower had them in a tray. And I thought to myself, what can I do to keep these growing and growing well? Then I had a flashback where I remembered the person that shared them on Facebook in the 12 units. And I told my husband, I can just pop out these little holes for the little water reservoir, sit my African violets on top, and let them draw up the nutrients and water from the arrow garden. So that's what we're about to do today. I have like 3 others that I got that I'm going to try to do. The problem that I may run into is, like right now I have some lavenders that I was starting in these gardens. I may have space to do this on my other herb garden that I have going on the kitchen counter, but if y'all remember, my one that has my lettuce going is kind of crowded. The ones that are in the office growing my vegetables are really crowded because one of them has a starter plant that is my what's it called? My eggplant going. It's no room there. So I'm gonna have to move some things around to make this work. And I may very well end up just taking one of these gardens and maybe devoting it to my African violets. I don't know. But I wanted to share this with y'all because, again, I told y'all I like to experiment, and I just figured this out that this may work wonderfully. But just wanted to let y'all see these beautiful little African violet minis that I've now added to my collection. I'm really, really, really excited about them. And hey, like I told y'all, I'm always experimenting with something, so I'll just be sharing the journey with y'all here on Fix It with Fran. And like I tell y'all, this is Fix It with Fran, where I talk about all things faith, family, food, and fun. And I do believe God has given us all gifts and talents that can solve some problem that exists in the world. This is Fix It Friday, and this was my fix for today. While we can't fix everything, I do believe that we can all fix something. So I pray that until next time, you would find that thing and fix it. Thanks for watching.